Sleep Sayer welcomes you, dear listener. As evening's gentle shadows embrace the world, let's take a moment to find perfect comfort. Allow your body to settle deeply into your resting place. Take a slow, calming breath. Tonight, Sleep Sayer will share a gentle adaptation of the legend of the Weaving Maiden and the Cowherd from ancient China, where dreams and reality dance together in perfect harmony. The evening sky unfolds like a tapestry of deepening blue. Stars begin to appear one by one, like silver threads woven into the fabric of night. The gentle breeze carries the sweet scent of jasmine from a nearby garden. Somewhere in the distance, the soft melody of a bamboo flute drifts through the air. The moon rises slowly, casting its silver light across the landscape. Fields of golden wheat sway gently, creating waves that ripple across the countryside. A small stream winds its way through the valley, its waters glimmering in the moonlight. You might hear the gentle sound of water as it flows over smooth stones. The world feels peaceful, balanced, as if everything has found its perfect place. In this tranquil setting, our story begins. Long ago, in a time when the boundary between heaven and earth was thinner, there lived a young man named Niulang. Niulang was a cowherd who tended his gentle animals with care and compassion. Each morning, he would wake with the first light of dawn. He would lead his herd to green pastures where they could graze under the watchful sky. Niulang lived simply, finding joy in the changing seasons and the rhythm of country life. His small cottage stood near the edge of a clear, winding river. In the evenings, he would sit by its banks and watch the stars appear in the darkening sky. Sometimes, he would play melodies on his reed flute, the notes drifting across the water. The sound would echo softly against the distant mountains. He felt contentment in his solitude, yet sometimes wondered if there might be more to discover. You can almost feel the cool grass beneath your feet as you imagine walking alongside him. The gentle weight of evening settling around your shoulders like a comfortable blanket. High above the mortal world, in the celestial palace, lived Zhinü, the seventh daughter of the Jade Emperor. Zhinü was known throughout the heavens as the Weaving Maiden. Her fingers moved with graceful precision as she wove magnificent celestial silks. Day after day, she created the colorful clouds that drifted across the sky. Her loom clicked softly as she worked, a soothing rhythm that marked the passage of time. Though surrounded by beauty and heavenly companions, Zhinü sometimes felt a longing she couldn't name. She would pause in her weaving to gaze down at the earth below, curious about the lives there. The distant mountains and rivers seemed to call to her in a language only her heart understood. You might imagine the shimmer of her silken robes catching the light of distant stars. The gentle movement of her hands as they passed the shuttle through the threads of her loom. One summer evening, when the air hung heavy with the scent of lotus blossoms, Zhinü and her celestial sisters decided to visit the mortal world. They descended to earth on a cloud that drifted silently through the night sky. They found a secluded pool where the water reflected the stars like a perfect mirror. The sisters laughed softly as they shed their heavenly robes and stepped into the cool water. Niulang, returning home with his faithful ox, heard the gentle sound of laughter carried on the breeze. Curious, he followed the sound to its source, moving quietly through the tall reeds. What he saw took his breath away, the pool filled with ethereal beauty as the sisters bathed. Zhinü, her dark hair floating on the water's surface, seemed to glow with an inner light. Something stirred in Niulang's heart, a feeling as deep and true as the stars above. You can feel the gentle summer air against your skin, warm and comforting. The subtle fragrance of night-blooming flowers drifts around you. The ox, wiser than ordinary animals, whispered to Niulang that these were heavenly maidens. With gentle suggestion, the ox nudged Niulang toward Zhinü's silken robe resting on the shore. "If you take her robe," the ox murmured, "she cannot return to heaven, and you might speak with her." Niulang hesitated, not wishing to cause distress, yet longing to meet the radiant maiden. Instead of taking the robe, he stepped into view and bowed respectfully. The sisters gasped in surprise and quickly gathered their robes, ascending back to heaven. But Zhinü, captivated by the kindness in Niulang's eyes, lingered a moment longer. Their gazes met across the moonlit pool, a connection forming between heaven and earth. You might imagine the gentle ripples spreading across the water's surface. The soft rustle of silk as Zhinü gathered her robe around her shoulders. In that brief moment, something changed in both their hearts. The next evening, drawn by a force she couldn't explain, Zhinü returned alone to the pool. Niulang was there, sitting quietly by the water, playing a soft melody on his flute. The music seemed to speak directly to her heart, telling of simple joys and quiet beauty. She approached without fear, settling beside him on the grassy bank. They spoke in low voices as the moon climbed higher in the night sky. Niulang told her of his life tending the oxen, of dawn mists and evening stars. Zhinü described her weaving, how she created the clouds that painted the heavens. Hours passed like moments as they shared their different worlds. You can almost hear the gentle melody of Niulang's flute lingering in the air. The soft sound of their voices blending with the night's peaceful symphony. Night after night, Zhinü returned to earth, drawn by love's gentle pull. Eventually, she made the decision to remain in the mortal world with Niulang. They built a life together in his small cottage by the river. Niulang continued to tend his herd while Zhinü set up her loom by the window. The cloth she wove was unlike any seen on earth, carrying hints of heaven in its threads. Their days flowed in peaceful rhythm, marked by small joys and shared contentment. The morning sun warming the dew-covered fields. Evening meals shared as twilight painted the sky in gentle hues. Soft conversations as they walked along the river, hand in hand. The changing seasons brought new beauty to their simple life together. You can feel the gentle warmth of their happiness, like sunshine on your skin. The steady rhythm of their days together, peaceful and harmonious. In time, they welcomed 2 children whose laughter filled their home with joy. A boy with his father's kind eyes and a girl with her mother's graceful hands. The family lived in harmony, finding wonder in the simplest moments. Watching clouds drift across the summer sky. Following the flight of butterflies through flowered meadows. Listening to raindrops tapping softly against the roof. But in the celestial realm, Zhinü's absence had been discovered. The Jade Emperor, learning that his daughter had fallen in love with a mortal, grew concerned. The Queen Mother of the West, concerned for the balance between heaven and earth, advised action. One day, as golden autumn light bathed the countryside, the Queen Mother descended to earth on a cloud edged with silver. She came not in anger but with the wisdom of ages in her eyes. "My child," she said to Zhinü, "your place is in the heavens, weaving the clouds that sustain the world." Zhinü looked at her husband and children, tears forming in her eyes. The love they shared had created its own kind of heaven on earth. You might feel a gentle ache in your heart, tender and bittersweet. The cool autumn breeze carrying fallen leaves in swirling patterns. With great reluctance, the Queen Mother separated the lovers. With a wave of her sleeve, she created a river in the sky, the Milky Way. Zhinü was returned to the heavens, to the east side of the celestial river. Niulang, trying to follow with their children, was placed on the western shore. The silver river flowed between them, too wide and deep to cross. Zhinü returned to her loom, but her heart remained with her family. Niulang continued to care for his herd, always looking upward to the heavens. Their love, stronger than the boundary between worlds, did not diminish with distance. You can see the stars of the Milky Way stretching across the night sky. A ribbon of light connecting earth and heaven in silent beauty. The Queen Mother, moved by their unwavering devotion, granted them one mercy. Once each year, on the 7th day of the 7th lunar month, a bridge of magpies would form across the celestial river. The birds, with wings outstretched, would create a pathway between the shores. On this day, Zhinü and Niulang could meet in the middle of the bridge. Their reunion, though brief, sustained them through the long months apart. This day became known as the Qixi Festival, celebrated throughout the land. People would look to the sky on clear summer nights to see the stars that represented the lovers. Vega, the bright star of Zhinü, the Weaving Maiden. Altair, the steadfast light of Niulang, the Cowherd. And between them, the flowing starlight of the Milky Way. You might imagine the gentle fluttering of countless wings as the magpies formed their bridge. The quiet joy of reunion after patient waiting. The tender embrace of those separated by fate but joined by love. It is said that on rainy days during the Qixi Festival, the droplets are Zhinü's tears of happiness. Their story reminds us that love transcends boundaries, even those between heaven and earth. That patience and devotion create their own kind of magic in the world. That the connections we form with others remain, even when distance separates us. The evening grows deeper now, stars twinkling in the vast darkness above. The same stars that have witnessed countless stories through the ages. Perhaps somewhere among them, Zhinü and Niulang are meeting on their bridge of birds. their love continuing its eternal dance across the heavens. Your breathing becomes slower, deeper, as you rest beneath this canopy of stars. Each breath brings greater peace, greater comfort. The gentle rhythm of your heart beats in time with the universe's ancient pulse. Your body feels heavier, more relaxed with each passing moment. The story settles around you like a comfortable blanket, drifting now between wakefulness and dreams. The boundaries between worlds growing thinner as sleep approaches. As our story draws to a close, moonlight bathes the world in silver dreams. Each breath brings deeper peace. Let these gentle moments carry you into your own dreams. Sleep Sayer bids you good night.